We have been on Sandwatch 2025 so far for 1 month. That's, of course, our way of counting down the days until Bachelor in Paradise Season 10 is going to premiere later this year, probably at the end part of the summer. And we have done many episodes on this very program talking about what we think producers should do to save that piece of the franchise and maybe indeed the franchise as a whole. One of the things that we have always said they should do is get a new showrunner. And lo and behold, this week, they have done just that. Scott Teti is going to be the showrunner for season 10 of Bachelor in Paradise. He's an executive producer who has worked on other reality TV shows, but never in the Bachelor franchise. Some of his credits are Claim to Fame on ABC. You've seen this show, I assume?
I've seen the 10-second clips that play before The Bachelor.
Same. I've watched an episode of it. It wasn't for me, but
you know what I have
big network
seen?
show. What's that?
His other work, Summer House.
Okay.
That is a long time favorite of mine. I watched Summer House and Winter House. I'll watch all the houses forevermore.
And that's from the Bravo family. So it's a different style of producing, which is a little more like a housewivey kind of, here's a group of people, watch what they do. It's less about like a specific competition of you have to be giving roses and going on one-on-one dates and all this kind of stuff. So I don't know if that's going to help or hurt.
See.
But
I think different is going to help no matter what.
I do too.
I think they can't, it's just, the franchise is stale. They need new showrunners. I also like the decision to have one showrunner as opposed to I feel like they've had multiple showrunners a lot, which doesn't make any sense to me. You need like a strong, cohesive vision from the top.
My question is, what happened to the other EPs that were there in season 9, 8, 7, 6? Are they now going to be subordinate to Scott Teti? Are they fired from the project? Are they going to be there and be mad that
Switched
this guy's
around
coming
to
in?
Golden Bachelorette? I don't know.
Oh God, please don't let that happen. Keep Golden pristine. Just keep doing what you're doing there. Don't get the
Sally's
Paradise
suitcase goes on Golden Bachelorette. Guess who's back? And I'm golden now.
In Charles L's fantasy suite, they make him start farting and eating creamy Caesar. Hey, Charles L, piss your pants before you go into the fantasy suite. I hope that doesn't happen, but
yeah, me too. I think everyone hopes that doesn't happen. I hope Creamy Caesar dies. That's my personal opinion. I think now that I know she knows about Creamy Caesar, we got to go somewhere else.
who knows about Creamy Caesar?
Ike Nettie.
Oh. All right.
We listened to a clip on Digging Deeper where she was talking about the Caesar salad.
Yeah. I think that this is a good move. I'm very enthused by the fact that they're bringing somebody from outside the franchise. This is a person who's never produced a Bachelor show, so has never been exposed to the toxicity of Mike Fleiss in the workplace, has never been exposed to, at least from an inside perspective, the Chris Harrison scandal in Bachelor season 25, all the kind of weight of the negative things that have happened in the franchise over the past, let's say, 3 to 5 years hasn't affected this person. So they're coming into it with fresh eyes. And I personally think that's a good thing.
Sorry, the fresh eyes are so important because they have gotten into these grooves with everything they do that it's just like plug and play, do this again. And like, I am really hoping that our vision is going to come true and it will be a much more modern show and compete with the likes of Love is Blind, Love Island.
I agree. And I think it's also good that they are doing this as a press release. Like this, in quotes, news comes out, but this is like, it's written about in Hollywood Reporter and all the kind of like trade magazines and stuff. That's because ABC wants us to know this. They want the fans to know that there is change coming in Bachelor in Paradise. And I think what you're going to see in the next weeks, months leading into Paradise is some other big news pieces coming out about whatever the changes might be. Are they going to shoot it in a different place? Is it going to have some kind of a different format?
Get rid of the intro song.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that would be news. I think we'll have to wait and see when it premieres.
That would be big news for me.
New York Times headline, Bachelor in Paradise is not using the same dusty old fucking song from 1987 that they've used for 10 years.
Dusty that is the key. That is the key word in that. Married at First Sight, that's a really long running show as well. Like, who knows what the dynamics on that show were, but I hope that this is a good sign. They are at least putting some effort into changing Bachelor in Paradise.
Yeah.
I hope everyone starts on the same day.
I do too. I mean, we did a whole episode. Scott Teti, if you're listening to this, congratulations on getting the job. Please
Scott,
listen to our episode called How to Save Bachelor in Paradise. It's a blueprint for how you should be producing the show, honestly. But I couldn't be happier about this because I know there were some other producers in line for this, in talks, that were from within the franchise, that were like long time Bachelor producers. And I just think doing that would be, you'd essentially be saying, do what you've been doing for the past 10 years. Just do it again. We're going to put a new name at the front of it. And it's kind of like a surface change. This seems like a real fundamental change.
Yeah. Change the font.
That's all they do.
Whenever they change the font, I'm always like, that's a big launch.
What I'm really curious about is Wells Adams going to be involved? Is that something that Scott Teti is going to leave behind? Because he's even more
famous now.
How's that?
From Traitors.
He was in one episode of Traitors. I guarantee you he's not more famous now. He's probably less famous now, if anything.
But what if Gabby wins it? And then he goes on her podcast?
Yeah.
I don't know. I would love to see it be Susan Knowles, her and Kathy, who were coming for Wells's job on that podcast.
You mean them as the bartenders?
Yeah. And I think it would tie the franchises together.
But it's also like you have to kind of reimagine the whole show. Like, let's say they don't shoot it at that location, or perhaps even in Mexico at all. Do they even need a bartender? Is it going to be like kind of tiki themed anymore?
Why don't you just have bartenders be bartenders and it be a really nice experience where you can just get a drink and not be hassled?
Or like Love Island, have them be their own bartenders, make their own food, and that becomes a part of the show. I mean, Love Island, the thing where they have to, like, if you partner up with somebody, you're going to be making breakfast. That's like a part of the thing. You have to make your partner sometimes in staggered order, but you have to make them avocado toast or scrambled eggs or whatever, throw the eggs on them potentially, eat it off your own chest.
Egg play, avo play, do it all, baby.
But that gives you like an extra dramatic element, at least in the narrative of the story, that's like, okay.
To escalate your relationship.
Yes, exactly. And so by kind of taking away that element of like, there's a hired actor as the person who is serving you drinks and food potentially, and forcing the players to do it, I think it elevates the game. There's just another component that you can play with,
I like that. Self-serve, or at least have, a coffee cart or something that they can bring it to them so that it means something, and they have to, it's a public declaring of intention romantically. I'm really excited about this news, Clues.
Me too.
Like, I'm so nervous because it feels like so much is riding on it in the franchise. Like, it feels like Bachelor in Paradise is like hanging on by a thread. So yeah, I think it'll be good.
Now let me ask you this: Scott Teti's coming in. There are some things that are far outside the control of Scott Teti. One of those is you are going to have to cast this show with players from the Bachelor franchise.
Yes, Carolina. I can't wait to see her play.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think he can turn this into a third wave show, although that is what they should be doing.
Ooh, he should.
I don't
just
know if that's
Scott.
Scott, if you're listening, a third
Put
wave
it
show
into
means
your contract.
You're casting from outside of Bachelor as well. You would have predominantly Bachelor players, but you would also have maybe some players coming from Perfect Match or the Netflix reality universe, et cetera, et cetera.
Like the most victimized person on Love is Blind, or like there's so many ways to bring in viewers from other franchises and networks that way. I love Traitors so much. And like getting to see you discover Tom Sandoval is just like, it's a
his
beautiful
face
treat. I never thought I would get.
He just looks confused.
He's a ridiculous person.
It's insane. I mean, say what you will about him and what he's done to people, but he's entertaining as hell.
I saw a TikTok of someone doing an impression of him and talking to Gabby, and it was like, he was like, do you think maybe it could be Dark Lord coming is the traitor?
Oh my God.
Like, we wouldn't see it coming. And she's like, no, I don't think so. It's so good.
That seems like something we would say. Let me ask you this about Scott Teti and this next era of Paradise. How far back do you think they will go to get players? From what season?
It depends. Can they get Rachel Kirkconnell? I would be going Kirkconnell. I would be going Maria Georges. I would be going, who do we got? The most victimized Love is Blind people. I would go with
so
Love Island
Kirkconnell
people.
is back to Bachelor
Is
season
Kaylor
25. Kaylor?
Yeah.
I don't know. But those are like, those are out of your
Get
price
the Snake
range.
Man. Rob.
Out of their price range. There's no way they're not going to be able to get like the superstars of Love Island USA season 6. They might be able to get Dorito. I'd get him. Throw him in there.
Dorito doesn't really seem worth making it third
Watch
wave.
what you're saying. Watch what you watch your mouth.
I'm sorry, Dorito.
Dorito could have his own goddamn TV show.
Sorry.
I think they are going to, I know we've said they should not go back any deeper than literally from the current year.
This year, yeah.
That said, there's some part of me that's like, maybe go all the way back to the beginning of the bubble seasons. Get them all. Let those players who got basically destroyed in BIP 7, 8, and 9 get a fair shake at the new version of this show. Let's see what some of these players, like, do you want to see?
Clancy?
Yes, Clancy and Bonsall. Let's see what they can do as a dynamic duo.
Why are you always adding Bonsall on there?
Because it's like peanut butter and jelly. You don't have one without the other.
Clancy, we need him.
Clancy and Bonsall.
Is he might be married.
I don't care.
I don't know.
Dissolve the marriage and go to Paradise.
Clancy, do you want BIP 10 to succeed or not?
It doesn't have to
listen
be them,
to
though.
Scott. Just pick up Scott's call, Clancy.
I'm saying like Rodney Matthews. Do you want to see Ivan Hall? Do you want to see Alexa Ray Caves finally actually get to come to sand?
I want to see Alexa Ray Caves. They wouldn't dare.
Yeah, I don't know.
But they should.
Are there some like, what's Christina Schulman up to? Is she married? I don't know. Do they go back that far?
I don't know.
What's the age range on this show? I don't know either. There's just a lot
stars to like all crown BIP season or something.
Well, then you've got to go way back because you need to have 40 players basically. And so you're talking about every Bachelor and Bachelorette who's ever existed.
I would do fewer players. Yeah. I mean, we talked about that in the How to Save Bachelor in Paradise too. Fewer players. Like that's what Love Island USA season 6 did. They focused on this like core OG group and like focused on them finding love. It was great. Oh, so good.
I think with 20 players you can produce a fantastic series. And you don't need 40 necessarily, but we shall see. That's the state of the game. We got a brand new showrunner from outside the franchise.
Get Matt James. Get Rachel Kirkconnell.
I mean, I don't know about all that. At least get Kirkconnell. I don't know about getting Matt James in there, but we'll get to that in news.
Try to get Kirkconnell.
But we have this new showrunner, Scott Teti. Congratulations on securing this position. We hope that you are at the helm of our beloved game and steer it into better waters than it has been floating around in for the past couple of years. Now,
is Victoria Fuller single?
I don't know. Possibly. That'd be a good one.
Get her.
Please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast. Please get a friend to listen to us, and then please rate this podcast. Please review this podcast.